So, Susan, are we ready? Oh, sorry.
We're ready.
All right, thank you, Susan. Certainly want to welcome all of you to the Vinton Town Council meeting for this Tuesday, October 19th. Hard to believe we're well into October already. And gosh, I almost in a way hated to start the meeting. I felt like I was breaking up a big party. Everyone was having such a good time, but I guess we got to do some business, right? And the first order of business is to call the roll, please.
All right. Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember Mullins. Here. Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCarty. Here. Mayor Gross.
Here. Again, thank you folks for being here. Even though we don't have our mask on, we are observing social distancing. So we appreciate your cooperation with that. Couple items, the next couple items is our moment of silence. I'll ask you to stand for that. It's a time for personal prayer and reflection. If you choose to pray during that time, I would ask you to keep this country, this community, and this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers. And also we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Vice Mayor, who's going to do that?
This Vice Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad I already messed up and got that behind.
You got that out of your way.
Council member.
I got here a little late and I decided I'd do it myself.
All right. So you actually know it.
I do.
I'm sure you won't mess it up as badly as I would.
I get help.
So if you would stand for those two items, please.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Lyles.
Sure.
For leading us tonight. Upcoming community announcements. Now we go to the Vice Mayor.
All right, I got a list here. Exciting things happening.
Yeah.
October the 23rd is Women's Day out at the Farmers Market. That's from 10 to 2. Come out and shop all the local vendors. There's clothing, shoes, candles, Mary Kay, paparazzi, jewelry, and much more. So that's on the 23rd. Again, it's 10 to 2. On October the 28th, we'll be doing our downtown event and trick-or-treating again from 3 to 5 p.m. So bring your children dressed in costume and visit our local storefronts to get candy. That's always a big day here in Vinton, lots and lots going on. So we're really looking forward to that. October the 29th, we have at the Lancer Lot, Virginia Tech hockey against UVA. Go Hoos, go Hoos.
Hey.
Then on October the 30th, we have Virginia Tech hockey at Lancer Lot at 7:30. Virginia Tech against High Point. Go Hokies, go Hokies.
Now we're
See, I can support both. October the 31st, Virginia Tech hockey at the Lancer Lot. That's at 1:30 p.m. That's against Penn State. So all the tickets to all the home games are $5 for adults, and kids 12 and under are free, and there are concessions available to be purchased there. Also on October 31st, we'll be having the trick or treat in the Vinton neighborhoods. So everybody be cautious of what's going on that day. Watch for the little ones. And November the 2nd, of course, is Election Day, and we encourage you to get out and vote.
all right.
That's all.
Thank you very much. You handled the hockey thing quite well.
I feel like I practiced it because I knew Lori was going to be here, and I didn't want to.
Oh, man. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I guess we better move on, right? Before we get in trouble. Next item is a request to postpone or change anything on the order of the agenda. Council, anything? Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda, which tonight has the minutes of the regular meeting of October 5th, 2021. Are there any changes or additions to the consent agenda? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right, to my favorite section, the awards and presentations. And we have several new folks with us. Chastity, I guess we can start with you if you would like to introduce our new folks.
So I have to use my cell phone because I already sent Debbie my notes. So we
She's
are
right
happy. Oh, yeah. But I gotta have mine, you know. We're happy to present or introduce Ms. Shay Hicks as our new Administrative Assistant of Community Programs. She is a resident of Benton, and she just happily celebrated her 29th year of being married to her husband. She has a full family of nieces and nephews, and she likes to spend time with them and go out and do adventurous things together. And the cool thing was, fun fact about Shay, she got married at the Benton War Memorial.
All right.
So if y'all would like to welcome Shay to our staff, we're happy to have her. She's already worked with pretty much most of the departments. Finance has definitely helped us out a lot with helping her getting used to all of our invoices and good stuff. So we're happy to have her.
All right.
Welcome.
Certainly want to welcome you.
And whatever y'all are comfortable with.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
Welcome to the town. Thank you. Hey, welcome.
Yeah, she's always working.
Thank you, Chastity, and thank you for being here. Nathan.
Good evening, Mayor, member of councils. We'd like to introduce, this is Fayla Gordon. She's our new associate planner within the planning and zoning department. Her educational background and professional experience is going to bring a lot to the town as a whole, including new capabilities we previously didn't have. So she's going to be doing GIS work for the town, the fund code enforcement responsibilities for the town, and also all the many other tasks and projects and special projects that obviously the planning and zoning department take on. Fayla previously attended the University of West Indies in Jamaica, where she's originally from. She did coursework in geography, geology, and anthropology. She transferred from the University of West Indies to Park University, where she also pursued a minor in urban planning. Her education has helped develop her as a professional she is today, and she'll bring all that expertise with her to Benton. She's a Scotia Bank Foundation Scholar, as well as an Emerging Leaders in the Americas Scholar. Before moving to the town, she was living in Gulfport, Mississippi, and sorry.
I was saying a far week.
Yeah, very, very far move up here to Virginia to the Commonwealth. And she hopes, and she wrote this, to add value to the town of Benton while continuing to promote the town as a place to live, work, and play.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Welcome. Good to see you.
I'm so glad to have you. Very glad you.
All right. This is exciting, Bo. You got one too, right?
Mayors, members of council, I'm excited to introduce you to Toby. He's our new inventory facilities manager. He resides in Stewartsville. He's a graduate from Virginia Western Community College. He holds multiple trades and certificates. He has a background in maintenance and construction with an emphasis on project management and safety. On his time off, he likes homesteading, hunting, fishing, camping, taking trips, playing with his daughter, Michaela, and along with her many pets and critters. She's hoping to be a veterinarian one day. Like my daughter Toby.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Good to see you again.
At least it wasn't a shoot.
So cute.
It must have went slinging over. Oh, yeah, that's probably it.
I like his glass.
I do too.
Hey, Chastity.
One way or the other.
Yeah. I was going to tell her her glasses were on her head.
Well, thank you folks for being here tonight. We certainly want to welcome you to the team. Very excited about you being part of the staff here at the town of Vinton. Our town manager had mentioned to me earlier, we not only just filled some positions, we got some really good qualified people. So we're very excited to have you folks with us. Thank you for being here. Okay, I guess now might be as good a time as any to also welcome our new Cub reporter. So, so welcome.
He's busy.
He's too busy for us, man. All right. So we'll move on to our citizens' comments and petitions. This is for anything that's not listed on the agenda. We have anything tonight? If not, we will move on to the public hearing for this evening. I understand the first one is, the town manager, you're going to handle the first one, is that right?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor Gross and members of council. As previously briefed at the last council meeting, staff is recommending consideration of council to transfer the remaining 6 parcels at the Vinton Business Center to the Roanoke County Economic Development Authority. These 6 parcels comprise approximately 71 acres in the business park. And as you know, we do currently share 50% ownership of that park with Roanoke County. It is a traditional and accepted practice for economic development authorities to own business centers such as this. It makes the transactions of selling these parcels much simpler, or things such as utility easements, that sort of thing. So nothing changes in the sense of the revenue component associated with the business center. So we still receive 50% of the revenues and share 50% of the expenses associated with the park. But the property is just deeded and held by the EDA. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to try to address those, but it is staff's recommendation to council to take action on this matter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. And since the public hearing is officially open, we will receive any public comments. Are there any? No? If not, council, you have any questions, comments?
I think it's a move in the right direction.
The only thing I might just kind of confirm, Pete, I understand this is kind of standard practice when the EDA stuff's involved?
That is the case. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. If there are no other questions or comments, we will close the public hearing. And council, you have before you an ordinance which would in fact approve the proposal as presented by the town manager.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Stovall, second by Councilmember Mullins. Susan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles.
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins.
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, next item is our town attorney. I don't see anything listed, but I think we should take a picture. He doesn't have a towel on. Maybe send that to the bar. Will you get kicked out? Two, wow.
Right.
Okay, I made a couple of mistakes getting you the text message.
Okay. I'm glad that things are going so well we can enjoy this meeting, right?
right.
Thanks. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Town Manager.
Thank you again, Mayor Gross. I have 2 briefings this evening, and our town clerk will be presenting the first item.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson.
All right, Mayor, members of council, in trying to keep our boards and commissions up to date, we had a committee called the Ventnor Advisory Committee that was established at our council retreat on October 24th of 2016. I gave you all a copy of those minutes and also a breakdown. At that time, staff and council thought it was necessary to create a Ventnor Advisory Committee to begin reviewing components of the gain sharing agreement. And so the committee was never really established. We appointed members, but they never really met. They never really, just got a purpose or never had an organizational meeting. And so as you all well know, those negotiations, went on. We have a new MOU that's been done. And several of these people that we did appoint are no longer part of the town. So it is staff's recommendation that we just dissolve this committee since it is not active. So I just wanted to brief council. If you have any questions, we can answer them. If not, next meeting we'll just have a resolution to dissolve this committee.
Okay. Thank you very much. Council, any questions? Comment? Nope. Okay. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. Mr. Mayor, the next item will be a briefing from Assistant Planning Director Nathan McClung regarding the DHR grant for the historic preservation of Gish's Mill.
Nice glasses.
I like them.
For the record, I ran out of contacts, so I need these prescriptions about 10 years old. So,
Oh, goody. Makes me feel good.
so
We're
Want
up
me to hold
here.
that for you?
But tonight we're talking about the Gish Mill. This is specifically for the Department of Historic Resources grant. The specific grant being the Emergency Supplemental Historic Preservation Funds, or the ESHPF grant that we attained. This has been a year-long process, so you've probably heard us talk about the DHR grant a lot, so it's odd that we're coming before you tonight with the briefing on this. But there is new material to discuss since the last time we were in the amidst of the rezoning, and the BZA was hearing the news about the variance. And in fact, a lot of the things that were completed during that variance process and that rezoning process were actually being funded through this grant source, obviously with permission from the DHR staff to fund it. So with this the first part with the subaward agreement, this will be for us to authorize for the funds and for the project to officially break ground and do actual physical activities on the property. Up until this point, we were only able to do soft processes, just like engineering. Obviously, we did the H&H study, surveying work, but we couldn't do anything physical in nature to the building. So the breakdown, that $250,000, $7,500 of that went through the H&H study that was completed earlier this year that proved that no rise would occur from the development of the property. $5,000 of it came from us working with Hill Studio to put the application package together for it to become listed on the Register of National Historic Places. As of last month, it was officially adopted into that register. So now it's eligible for tax credits, and it'll be on that registry for as long as it exists nationwide. And then $30,000 was allocated towards architectural and engineering services. which have obviously already been utilized to develop a lot of these plans, like the stabilization and demolition plan before you. And then all of the remaining funds, the $207,500, will be used for the actual work to take place. So working with Hill Studio, we've had before you the stabilization demolition plan. This is the construction component, or the stabilization component of this grant. As you can see, if you go through it, a lot of it's going to be investigative work initially. Reason being, if you've been in the building, I know a lot of you have been in the building, the floors are kind of wavy. You know, there's a lot of things that you don't know until you actually open up the floors. So this, as you can see, a lot of the first steps are going to be taking up the floors and seeing what structurally needs to be done to make the building completely sound. Additionally, there's going to be scaffolding put in place in the central core of the building to make sure that it remains safe throughout the duration of the project. And then also the non-historic addition on the far east end of the building will be demolished as part of this. Other things that are more than just aesthetic would include, on the old silos, repointing the brick, and if there's been bricks that are loose, also re-bricking walls that have become damaged over time. Underpinning the basement area. If you've been in the basement, there's that one corner that, at least based on the architect's determination, needs to be underpinned. And also with the stream bank on the back end towards that non-historic addition, stabilizing the stream bank so it doesn't further erode into the project that a lot of resources and work is being done towards. All this work has to be done in accordance with the DHR and ultimately the Secretary of Interior's standards. So thankfully we can work closely with our consultants to get this work done in compliance. And as soon as this agreement is signed, we can actually move forward with this work. We weren't able to proceed with this until this agreement was signed, but there's been a lot of just waiting on DHR, who was waiting on the National Park Service to get certain reviews and reviews completed at the national level. But it's been, like I said, it's been almost a year since we first heard word that we got this grant, and a lot of emails. But the good news is the DHR staff are excited about this project. Actually, October 28th, they're coming to Vinton. Even some of their department heads and director of their DHR. Is Jim here? I believe he's the director. He's coming to Vinton to tour the site. And also that'll give the chance for the architects and the future contractor to walk around and you know, taking this plan for them to see things and give feedback, so that we know that everything we do will get reimbursed at the end of this project. Because obviously we won't do anything that will not be reimbursed. The second component of this is the preservation agreement. That's kind of, it was required for the subaward agreement for us to have a preservation agreement covenant attached to the property, but it's going to last much longer than the duration of this grant period. So the subaward agreement is just for when the town is working on the project, and as soon as we have expended the full $250,000, we plan on, as soon as possible, transferring the ownership of the property to the development team and closing out this grant so that we can start utilizing IRF funds, which is the other $478,000 from the DHCD IRF fund. But in order for this grant to take place, we needed to put a preservation agreement. This is one of DHR's requirements, and it's actually a 20-year covenant that's attached to the deed, and it passes over to the owner. But it'll be quite redundant because pretty much the preservation agreement says that you'll have to do things based on the Secretary of Interior standards, but with them relying on historic tax credits for this project to even come to fruition, obviously they're going to do everything to that standard anyway, because the whole project is based around them getting historic tax credit. It's one of the crucial financial components of it. So it was really strict, and we tried our best to get some parts of it tweaked, but there really wasn't too much movement. The only move we actually were able to move the earth and get them to add one sentence that we can add signs, because obviously with it being the mixed use of the restaurant and everything, it'd be ridiculous for them not to be able to add signs. So with permission, they can add certain types of signs to the building. That was the one thing that was added to the preservation agreement. Everything else is the standard language that they have for all their projects. But at the end of the day, it makes sense, because they obviously, if you're using these dollars towards a historic source, they don't want later on for the source to be manipulated in a way to, destroy the historic nature of the property. Obviously, the Gitsch Mill property will be protected, and this is the first crucial step. But with this briefing, the next council meeting will obviously have a motion to adopt. For this one, we have no action, but I'll take any comments or questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. A great report. Council, questions?
Very exciting.
It's exciting.
It is that.
We've been talking about it, now we can
Yeah.
get on with it. I like it.
So with this, so we haven't started the stabilization yet, right?
No, not at
I
all.
was under the impression we were already like through that phase of it, and we were waiting on this to get the developer in there. So maybe I misunderstood that, so.
No, the only work has been done to the building so far has been, besides the clean out, which wasn't deemed physical because we were just cleaning out the building, but nothing has structurally been done. But all the architecture and engineering work has been in progress for the stabilization work to take place when this was ready to go.
And
But yeah.
and this work actually will be done by the contractors, not the town. We will administer the grant, but the same contractors that will be doing the renovation will be doing the stabilization as well. Now that we've got the funding in place, they'll get on ground and start this piece of it, and it'll transition right into the rehab and renovation piece all the way through completion. It's just separate funding sources, and this one had to come before the IRF.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that was the big component of this was having to come from the town following our procurement. The other grant, IRF, going through the EDA.
Yeah.
And it's been a challenging year for all the
I'm sure.
divisions and departments, DHR, DHCD. I just want to applaud Nathan's efforts. I mean, he's done a masterful job of managing this for the last 12 months or so. So I appreciate his effort, as well as Jeremy's on some of the guidance and the consultation on the many contracts that this project has wrapped up into it. My only fear is that Nathan has done such a good job with DHR that they're going to try to hire him out from under us. So,
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Don't go. Don't go. You won't like it. I'm telling you, don't go.
There you go. Stay home.
Vision is terrible.
Ask him to give you eye test.
Well, it's, obviously, the staff has worked long and hard on this project. As the town manager mentioned several times, it's a very complicated project. A lot of moving parts, and we're hearing about a couple tonight yet again. But it's good to see. We are moving along, and it's good to see. I think we're all just holding our breaths, just really anxious to see stuff start happening down there. So it's good to know that that's going to happen soon, and I really appreciate the effort that staff's making on this really important project. So, good news. Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good job.
okay, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'll proceed on to the items requiring action. We have 2 items this evening. I'll take the first one, and then Assistant Town Manager, Mr. Sexton, will take the second. The first being consideration by council to execute a performance agreement between the town of Vinton, Roanoke County EDA, and McDevitt Company for the purpose of developing a hotel on the intersection of South Pollard, 1st Street, and Cedar Avenue. This is, as much as the Gitsch Mill project has been a long project ongoing, there have been several steps that we've achieved to date, including a sales agreement that Town Council approved in July of '21. Roanoke County and the town entered into a memorandum of understanding for funding from the county to support this project in a total of $480,000. Those proceeds are as a result of the net tax revenues that this project will generate, and they will submit those towards the incentive of the project. The developer is Soundview Development and McDevitt Company. They intend to build a hotel of 90 to 100 rooms. We're still in the final design, site planning piece of that component, so we're narrowing down. I just spoke to the developer today, and we're discussing actually utility connections for water and sewer and electric, so it's getting close. The revised investment, we're actually up to about $16 million of what it's going to cost to construct this project. Let's see, there's also a component that I want to make sure that folks are aware of, that the incentive here is based on performance. So none of the numbers that we'll discuss will be generated or given to the developer until he actually meets those performance objectives and operates and generates those revenues. So it is reimbursement based. So none of that's coming up front. It'll be provided to him if he meets all his minimums and hopes and that he meets and exceeds those minimums. Let's see, the couple things I wanted to note. Well, I'll just review a few of the terms of the agreement, and then we can open up for any questions that you have. So this agreement is for a 10-year period. Once we execute the performance agreement, assuming council approves it tonight, the triggers of the performance agreement will be enacted. The opening, commencing on the opening date, so when the hotel is actually open, the town will reimburse utility connection fees as part of the incentive, as well as the building permit fees. Over the next 10 years after it's open, there will be a 60% share of transit occupancy tax. This is, again, an incentive that he has to generate and operate the hotel and generate tax revenues through the bed tax, and then we will rebate that annually for a 10-year period. That's to incentivize the significant investment of $16 million, as we've indicated, to produce this project. The other item that I wanted to mention is there's nearly $1 million worth of other site improvements associated with this. So sidewalk improvements, underground utilities, and the traffic signal replacement and reconfiguration that will also include some ADA compliant pedestrian accommodations at that intersection of South Pollard and Virginia. So not only getting a hotel, we're getting a significant amount of community development as a result of this project too. So the incentive is large, but the payback is equally large and very beneficial. Not only will it take a formerly underutilized gateway into our downtown and make it very attractive, generate some significant new revenues for the town, but also support other businesses by retaining those visitors into the town night in, night out. And those folks, because they're staying in town, will likely spend more money and patronize our other businesses, restaurants, gas stations, and such, coffee shops, while they're in town. So it is a very beneficial project in many ways. As I said, it is a capital investment anticipated of $16 million, nearly $1 million in site improvements. It will create, or it must maintain and create 20 jobs for 10 years, which should easily be attainable for a hotel. They must meet the minimums of generating $150,000 annually in transit occupancy tax and $25,000 annually meals tax, which again, those should be fairly easy to meet. We will be meeting with the Roanoke County EDA tomorrow to also consider this agreement. So, other than any questions that you have, I guess it is important to note that this will anticipate we generate about $500,000 in new taxes for the town annually, or not just the town, but the county and the town overall. And so just a percentage of that being rebated and reinvested back into the project is an incentive to get this started. So be happy to answer any questions that you have. The current timetable, we're hoping that we will have the site plans ready and hope to break ground first of the year.
Awesome. Pete, thank you very much. What a great report. Thank you for all that information. Council, you have any questions, comments?
It's been a long time coming.
It has.
Great thing happening.
Great time to have these two projects going on simultaneously, too.
Yep.
Two gateways.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. There are two of our gateways, and you're right. Been a long time coming. You know, the town purchased those partials for economic development a few years ago, and I think it was obviously the right thing to do. And of course, Roanoke County came on board as a partner in this project, so it's really going to be great for the town. And I know it's been a lot of work for our staff, and as you mentioned, it's, you know, we've got two big projects going at the same time, so our staff's really been working hard on that. We want to thank them and congratulate them for bringing both of these projects this far along.
We got them some help, too.
Oh,
We got them some new help.
No, yeah.
thank goodness, right?
Talking about the smart one with the glasses on?
Yeah. Okay, so council, you have before you a resolution that would authorize the town manager to execute a performance agreement between the town of Vinton, the Roanoke County Economic Development Authority, and the McDermott Company. Any other questions or comments? If not,
I'd
we
be
will.
happy to make a motion.
Okay.
And I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Lyles and a second by Vice Mayor McCarty. Please call the roll, Susan.
Councilmember Lyles?
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins?
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty?
Yes.
Mayor Gross?
Yes. Thank you, folks. That's a
Thank you all
biggie.
for the support, and looking forward to getting that project underway. Under project updates and comments, just have a few updates for council this evening. Did speak with the general manager at Rosie's earlier this week, and they're expecting a December 8th opening. That is still somewhat in flux, but that is the anticipated date as of today. We also are working with the owners of the new coffee shop at Vineyard Station, R&D Coffee, and they are awaiting some furniture delivery and some equipment delivery. So there's some supply chain delays, as a lot of folks are experiencing, but they are hoping for a mid-November opening, and you may have saw the signs go up
Signage
last
looks
week.
good.
It looks sharp. It's a nice space. It looks
Yeah, it
very,
looks really cool.
very spacious. I also wanted to give a couple updates on behalf of Cody, our assistant town manager. The meter replacement program is going well. They're up to approximately 40% of the commercial meters have been installed, so about 230 meters, and 20% of residential, so just over 1,000 residential meters have been installed.
Wow.
And there's also a stormwater project underway. Is Bo still here? So we have a stormwater project underway, actually two, going on in the town, one being handled by a contractor. This is the a stormwater project between Poplar and Blair. If you, Tammy Shepherd Realty, behind Lott's Funeral Home, there's some failed stormwater piping there. It's really a creek that has been piped in, and through some materials failures, we are utilizing ARPA funds that we were fortunate enough to get to actually create a program to help fund some of these private stormwater systems that exist. So as a result of using the ARPA funds to actually make these replacements and improvements, we're actually going to be deeded over easements long-term, so they will become town property for us to maintain long-term. So currently they're private, but eventually they'll become ownership of the town and we'll maintain them. The other one being a stormwater project at the Vinton War Memorial. You might have seen a large hole, the chassis still here, in the front of the War Memorial. Again, that's some stormwater drains that have failed, metal pipe that eventually over time rusts. So we're replacing that, as well as the Poplar and Blair with plastic pipe, if you will, which has about a 100-year life expectancy. So
You know, it's kind of disheartening to come down Washington Avenue and look over, and all of a sudden, you see that big old hole. I mean, it's huge, right there in the front yard of the War Memorial. It's like, golly.
Yeah, so it started to fail probably back in last spring. We've had some significant wet seasons, as you know, and so it's taken a beating. And so we tried to time this appropriately to get through the wedding season and through some of our special events before Public Works, and we're doing that project in-house. So that's what's going on there. And then I also wanted to mention on behalf of Public Works that just remind everyone that the bulk pickup has resumed on a weekly basis as of last week, officially this week in the rotation. So we are picking up bulk each week now. So we're back to that every week bulk pickup.
That too is great news. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, it was worth a try.
Yeah,
It was.
So,
yeah, we tested it out thoroughly, and we made a couple of different tests and versions of how to collect it, but sometimes the way we were doing it might have been the right way, so we're going back.
yeah.
And that concludes my report. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I guess you were saving the exciting stuff, item B, for the last.
Oh, goodness.
I know you were saving it
I
for last.
apologize. I forgot about that.
That's okay.
Man, you make me feel so good.
That was my goal.
You did a good job.
I got so excited about the hotel, I just completely.
All right, I got it.
It's hard to get excited about sewer.
Oh, I don't know. It can be.
So in listening, we didn't plan it this way, but tonight is sort of a big night in culminating large projects because we have one more for you this evening. And before I get started, I will note that distributed to the council members and the mayor is a letter of recommendation that goes along with the presentation, and then a listing of bid tabulations that you can reference either during questions or comments if you have any. So tonight, I'm asking that you all consider an adoption of a resolution awarding a bid and authorizing the town manager to execute a contract with Frizzell Construction Company in an amount not to exceed $1,784,888. So quite a large project in the scheme of things for the town, and this is for the construction of the 3rd Street Pump Station. So the 3rd Street Pump Station is nothing new. That station has been in operation since at least the 80s, pumping, collecting all of the sewer, all of the wastewater in the town, and then pumping it across Tinker Creek to the wastewater treatment plant owned by formerly the city of Roanoke and now by the Western Virginia Water Authority. So this past spring, the town issued debt to fund a number of high-impact utility projects. As Mr. Peters mentioned earlier, one of those projects is the meter replacement project, a SCADA upgrade project, which is also moving along, and then this pump station project as well. So we anticipated in issuing that debt a budget of $2 million for this project, and then we also contracted with Hurton Profit Engineering for project management on this. So with a project as large scale as this one, we thought that it would be prudent to have sort of an extra set of hands, extra set of eyes on it to help with the bid process and to help with construction oversight. So while Public Works and Utilities will be heavily involved with that, we are going to have a separate engineer that we've contracted with to look at that. So the notice of invitation for sealed bids was advertised in the Roanoke Times on September 12th. It was directly distributed the next day to various interested parties, including a number of construction companies who may be interested. A pre-bid meeting was held on September 29th, and we actually had a very good turnout for that meeting, much larger turnout than I think we anticipated, with a number of general contractors and subcontractors. So that was sort of giving us hope that we'd have some good return on the bids. And then last week on October 14th, we had a public bid opening in this room, and we received 4, which actually surprised me. I was hoping for 3, so we got 4, and they are listed in order from lowest to highest of bid by contractor name in the agenda packet. So as mentioned earlier, Frizzell Construction Company did come in at $1.7 million approximately. You will note that this is about $215,000 under budget. So this is actually a great win in these times when construction projects are running over and sort of everything sort of going haywire in the construction industry. We were able to sort of get a low bid under budget. Jumping ahead to the reference letter, Hurt and Profit checked the references on Frizzell Construction Company. They came back with glowing references for this project, very good track record, at least in recent years on this, and they seem that they will be an excellent partner to enter into this contract and complete this project on time and under budget. So with that, I will open it up to any questions. I will also say a huge amount of thanks to our utilities manager, Kenny Sled, for helping with this, Bo Herndon, Jill Acker in Public Works, and then most importantly, even though he's no longer with us as an employee, Brandon Gann, our financial analyst. He really got the ball most of the way down the field with this one, and he just sort of handed me off to get across the finish line. So he deserves a huge amount of appreciation for this. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. Great report. Council, any comments or questions?
It's like that one statement where it says on time and under budget. That's all you can ask for.
Well, that's good too, because that way you have a little leeway. Oh, something always.
Yeah.
Change
Yeah,
order.
we have about 10% leeway in this one.
You don't like that word, do you?
Right, right. Yeah, that sounds like the voice of experience.
Yeah. I said to her, she don't like that word, change orders.
Right.
Looking at it, I mean, and not to like, but, and I don't know anything about it, but the difference in the mechanical from like the first three to the last one, what was going in there that the other three wasn't putting in there?
So we, Mr. Lyles, we anticipated such a question, and while the bid documents do not indicate why that difference is there, in talking with Matt Gross, who is our contracted engineer, our contracted project manager, he speculated that it could be anything from perhaps they're busy, perhaps they may not actually want the bid, but wanted to sort of put it in and hope that no other bids came in. He did not indicate that we should be fearful that they saw something that the others did, or did not, that they saw something that the others did not, that would seem to indicate that that's an accurate picture, that extra $1 million.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is something we're all missing?
Yeah, well,
No,
yeah.
that actually is a great question, because I mean, if you look at the first three, they're within 600,000 of each other.
Right.
And then the other one is from there, almost $1 million away, so.
Yeah, but it's all mechanical, so I was wondering if we're putting the right mechanics in.
Right. No, I agree.
I'm curious. I mean, like I said, I know nothing about it, so I mean, if Hurt and Profit, that's why we have them helping as well.
I want to say, it was, the bid package was somewhere in the neighborhood of 360 pages. So, and, you know, coming out and investigating it at the pre-bid meeting. So I don't want to say that nothing will go wrong or that the others didn't miss it, but Mr. Stovall is probably correct in his estimation, and based on talking to the engineer, that the relative clustering of the other bidders would seem to indicate that they're probably all on the same page, and MEB saw something or overestimated. I would have been more concerned if the low bidder had been the outlier and the other three had clustered high,
Right.
Good
as
point.
opposed to having a high bid outlier.
Very good point, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I'm a contractor, certainly on a different level, much smaller, but if I took the time to read 360 pages of specification and look at something, I would at least submit a bid, so I don't blame them, you know, I don't blame them. Okay, any other questions or comments? Nope. Thank you very much. We appreciate the report. Council, you have before you a resolution that would authorize the contract with Frizzell, I guess is the way you say that?
Frizzell.
Frizzell, okay, construction company, in the amount not to exceed $1,784,888.
I'll so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Stovall, second by Councilmember Lyles. Susan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles?
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins?
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty?
Yes.
Mayor Gross?
Yes. Another great project underway.
Thank you all.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Good job.
Now that we're back to project updates, can I ask a question? What was the Rosie's date you gave out?
December 8th,
Nice, okay, thank you.
that's their anticipated opening as of today.
Feels like a good date night, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yep. I was going to say, since we're talking about projects, updates and things, and Nathan was talking about everyone coming in from the DHR on the 28th, they could dress up and come trick-or-treating down
Right?
There you go.
Yeah, bring it back.
Same night as trick-or-treating, yeah, exactly.
there. See our town.
There you go. All right. Getting scary.
It's getting scary.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Are there no reports from our committees this evening? With that, we'll move on to comments from council. Councilmember Lyles, would you like to start this evening?
I don't have too much of, I'm just like speechless with all the great projects that we have going on, and can't wait. We've been talking about them for years now, and they're all coming to fruition. It's just a wonderful time to be a part of this town. Great staff, we always say that, and we've got new great additions to the staff, and just look forward to it, and how time's fly. I'm looking forward to what next year looks like, because we're almost done with this year.
Yeah.
And so hopefully supplies come in that we need to finish these projects or start these projects, and then by next year we'll be talking about new projects. So
Yep.
just all excited for everything that's going on, and look forward to this winter off. I'm speechless for that too. I don't know what to do with myself. So,
Yeah. All that time.
All
you're
the
gonna
mayor
have
will
in
find a
your
committee
hands.
for you
right.
to be on.
Good point. Vice Mayor, you have any further comments this evening?
No, I just want to say welcome to everybody that just that started. You've joined a wonderful team, and you've got some, the department heads are awesome. So we have fun up here, but we have to make the decisions, but the department heads and the staff is what makes it happen. So welcome.
Good point. Thank you. Councilmember Mullins.
Thank you. Yes, in addition to that, that was the cutest little thing, the new employees getting their picture made by Debbie. That's just what we're like. It's just a little family, and everybody got together like we've known each other forever, so that was sweet. This week, well, I noticed it before, but this week I stopped at Billy Bird and jumped out and took a picture of the Virginia Tech ice hockey sign. Benton is home of the Hokies. And I shared it on a Virginia Tech parents Facebook page and got the sweetest comments. And this one fella said he was part of the very first club team, and they came to Lancerlot and practiced and rented the ice time, and then they'd come to Virginia Lancers games. And he knew about Benton and about Lancerlot for all this time, and it was just really neat to see that.
Yeah.
Just because I had told him, it's my little town and I love it, and love the Hokies and hockey and all three things right there, and he seemed to like that too, and I think he's in Maryland now, so it was really neat how it just reached a lot of people.
Very nice. Great. Thank you for that, Lord.
Well, first off, personal note, thank God for 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and thank God that all 3 of them are married. Last Saturday night, the 9th, Paige got married. It was a great event. I take my hat off to the Moose Lodge. I know they do things for the town of Benton, and they were great. On a council note, I got a success story. I do think tanks with my business, and we were downtown today and got through with it, and I was just showing some people a couple of things, and I ran into Jack Winston, and we had just a fabulous conversation. To stand there and think that, first off, not to talk age, but I'd love to be able to live to be that age and be in that good a shape. But the excitement that he showed me and told me about was, we were standing there talking, and he looked at me, and I'm a little taller, and he goes, "You like bluegrass?" Yes, sir, I do like bluegrass. He said, "Get ready." He said, 350. I think he said 350. He said, "The next one's going to have 2,000. I said, yeah, but it was just great. And of course, I know you don't like to hear this, but he sang your praises, staff's praises, the town's praises, but just what a great success story just to stand and talk to him.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'd had a great meeting, but when I got through and saw him, I stopped to talk to him a moment, and it was just to stand there and listen to somebody that's done a lot. I mean, he's done a lot to talk about the town of Benton and praise the town of Benton, and just so happy he's here, and then, of course, the bluegrass. So anyway, that's my success story for tonight.
All right, well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Glad you survived all the wedding ceremonies.
Got a little fun opened up on the Facebook. If y'all want to jump on
Can I
that.
rent your services to officiate?
I can if you need me to. I picked up two at Paige's wedding.
Well, thank you. And Sabrina, you're right. We are enjoying our council meetings, and they're fun. We get to laugh, but a lot of work goes on. And this does feel like family. I think we've introduced everyone tonight, Toby, except for the young lady that's with you.
This is my daughter, Michaela. She's the one that's going to be a veterinarian.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Go.
Welcome. Probably her first council meeting. Hope it won't be the last. So just, I'd like to mention just a few things tonight. Certainly want to recognize PFG for a great achievement. They have, I understand it's 1 million hours of safe working, without an accident. That's quite an achievement. And, that I can see that happening at PFG, though. They've always had great management, and of course, both the management and the staff have bought into how important safety on the job is. So we certainly want to congratulate those folks for that. I'd just like for anybody that might be viewing, for both you guys out there, a little bit of a shout out for something that Nathan's helping us with, and that's the Route 24 bike and pedestrian plan. You can go online and do the interactive survey, and hopefully your computer skills don't have to be that great. I messed it up, of course, but it's a really important survey, really interesting, and I just want to emphasize the importance of the information that's gathered in surveys like that, this one in particular. And Nathan, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's going to be part of the larger regional commission bike plan. Is that right? Or
the plan will be specific to the town, but it is it's the next step in the Benton area school growth plan.
Yeah.
It's using the results of that, but now tailoring it towards a smaller area that we can focus specifically on the town.
Yeah.
And that loop around the town, South Pollard, Washington, Bypass, and Hardy.
Right.
And Virginia.
Right. Yeah, and that display you have on there is really neat. So if you folks haven't taken a look at that, please do. That's really important. Also, I want to welcome to town the Keller Williams Group. We had a ribbon cutting there on October the 14th. Pardon me, October the 12th. So certainly want to welcome them, as well as the Virginia Tech hockey team, as we mentioned earlier. We are excited about them playing their home games here. The few folks, and then I might need a little bit of help on this one, would allow me just to pass along a personal story, somewhat personal. It actually involves the town and our I'll let Ann give me the official name, the water protection plan that we have, water leak protection plan. A friend of mine at church has a house that he was debating about it. His house, I think he said, is 23 years old, and he said, well, my stuff's not that old. But he decided to go ahead and go for it, and his wife sent it in. And I think shortly before they went on vacation, they realized that they had signed up and they were protected. And they, when they got back, they heard this sound, and it was water feed. My understanding, the main line that was going into his house broke loose. So he called them. They were out the very next day, and they actually came out to make a survey to see what was going on. But they had the equipment with them, so the contractor said, well, we'll go ahead and fix it. And they did that very day. And the contractor told him that normally the repair charge would have been $1,500 to $1,800. And of course, it didn't cost him anything because he had already signed up for the program. And so what I was going to ask you, what the official name, Susan or Ann?
Home serve line warranty.
Home serve line warranty. So folks, even if your house isn't so old, it's a good idea, you know, so it's really good, yeah. Yeah, right, so a pretty good move on his part, and I think it'd be a good move on everyone's part. And you know, someone mentioned some of the activities we got going on. We certainly have a lot of economic development activities. What a great place to live, though. I mean, you know, we just finished a fall festival. We're recognizing and then, you know, having all these new business coming to town. I heard them talking earlier about activities at the farmers market. And I just think we are really, really blessed to live in the town of Benton.
Well, you know, Sabrina made a comment, and when she made that comment, it just registered, and then Pete spoke, and now you've spoke. You know, you take not to belabor the point, but Virginia Tech hockey, and then you take Penn State.
Yeah.
Coming to the Lancelot to play hockey. Well, you know, putting two and two together, you know Penn State's not coming without fans.
There you go.
So Penn State comes, fans come, hotel,
They need to spend
et
a
cetera, et
night.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it just, you know, it's just when you made that comment, you said Penn State, I was like, daggone, you know, so you're thinking, okay, well, UVA, they probably, you know, but anyway, you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, it's just, yeah.
It all works together. We really have been blessed with a lot of successes, but you know, those things don't just happen.
No.
A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work.
Well, you took grief, you know, y'all took grief back in the day. I wasn't on council, but you took grief back in the day about buying the Gish meal, you know, and some people got out there and made some grief, but look at it now. Look what it's getting ready to do for the town. I mean, it's going to change a gateway, you know, and I mean, so kudos. I mean, yeah, that's.
Yep. Very good.
Hey, Mayor, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Just, you made a comment earlier at the very beginning of yours about PFG, and their million, you know, that's one of our oldest still around employers. I actually worked there right out of high school for like 9 years, and it was a great job. Recently, I was called to do an event there for their quality. They met their quality goals, so they wanted to do an event there, so I was able to graciously ask to come, and I did. And I left there 28 years ago, and to see the folks, you talked about leadership, and you know, folks don't stay at a place of business because of the work that they do. They stay at a place of business because of the leadership that they have. And the folks that were still there when I was there, that I got to talk to, was like amazing. And it's, you know, these people are now going on 40 years of working at the Weaving Mill here in Benton. And so just to test me, you said something about the leadership, and it made me think about, you know, those employees that were there that are still there, and it's because of the leadership that Precision Fabrics has. And that's another reason that they probably made their million safety hours as well, because of the employees and the leadership. So hats off to them.
Yeah, well, like you, my dad worked there. My dad worked there 44 years.
Really?
He did. He retired. Well, it was Burlington Industries then, and that's when they had the big weave room and weave rooms, and you know all that. But yeah.
Well, appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely. Good
They've been a great corporate citizen, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, to see the folks that, you know, and I still remember them and talk to them like it was yesterday, and but they're still there. And
all you old guys got together.
a lot of the old guys got together and talked.
Y'all gonna meet at Bojangles or McDonald's for coffee?
They start too early in the morning for me.
Hey, you're off now.
That's right.
Remember?
Mr. Mayor, you're gonna have to be nicer to Councilmember Mullins. Last time she brought brownies, and this time she brought mints.
Oh man, we messed up somehow.
I'm looking for the brownies.
Okay, anything further to come before council meeting this evening? If not, we'll recommend, we will receive a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by leaving. Thank you, folks. God bless you.
Thank you.